The Mark Wahlberg action comedy The Family Plan made a big splash when it premiered on Apple TV Plus in December 2023, and now The Family Plan 2 is officially in the works. The high-profile streaming release sees Wahlberg play devoted family man Dan, who finds that his past as an assassin has come back to threaten the idyllic life he has created for himself. Deftly mixing action set pieces and family-friendly comedy, The Family Plan was a departure for Apple TV Plus and marks a big change for the streamer. While not entirely unexpected, the critical reception to The Family Plan was markedly negative, with many critics pointing out the formulaic approach to the story and its odd mix of violence and family comedy, via Rotten Tomatoes. Nevertheless, the star power of Wahlberg and cast members like Michelle Monaghan make it a must-watch movie, and Apple TV Plus' original films are typically bigger cinematic affairs than many of their streaming contemporaries. Though a sequel was always a possibility, it took nearly a year for Apple TV Plus to announce The Family Plan 2. Just a month or so after it was announced that the sequel was finally in the works, the latest news confirms a new cast member has joined The Family Plan 2. Joining the likes of the returning Mark Wahlberg, Game of Thrones alum Kit Harington has been tapped to play an unknown role in the sequel. The Jon Snow actor's role is being kept under wraps, but he might step in as the series' latest villain. A straight-faced character is the perfect fit for Harington, who has yet to show his comedic side. More details about his role are expected soon. The Family Plan 2 is confirmed. The Morgan family returns in the sequel. A composite image of Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Monaghan looking on in the Family Plan custom image by SR Image Editor. The success of The Family Plan was undeniable, and though critics largely dismissed the comedy, it was Apple TV Plus' most viewed movie up to that point. As such, it didn't come as much of a surprise when the streamer announced plans for a sequel in October 2024. Coming nearly a year after the triumphant debut of the Mark Wahlberg-led action comedy, The Family Plan 2 will once again be directed by Simon Cellan-Jones with a script from the first movie's author, David Coggy-Eshald. No production details are known at this time, and it's unclear exactly where the sequel stands in the development process. From many details provided about the sequel, it seems as if the script is already completed, and with cast attached, production could begin at any moment. However, until more concrete news arrives regarding the production timeline, it should still be considered as in pre-production. The Family Plan 2 cast details. Mark Wahlberg is attached to star. Along with the official confirmation that The Family Plan 2 was happening, Apple TV Plus also announced several returning cast members for the sequel. Back again to lead the show as former assassin and current suburban dad, Dan Morgan, action star Mark Wahlberg has signed on to act and produce the sequel. Joining him will be Michelle Monaghan as Dan's wife Jessica, and the rest of his tight-knit family will be back too. Van Crosby is set to reprise as Dan and Jessica's professional gamer son, Kyle, while Zoe Corletti will return as their daughter, Nina. That quartet will likely make up the extent of the returning characters for the sequel, and since The Family Plan 2 takes the Morgans to Europe, a mostly new cast is needed. Though it's impossible to guess who it will be at this juncture, it's assumed that some shadowy villain from Dan's past will arrive on the scene to get their revenge against him, and that will require a dynamic casting choice to fill the role. Kit Harington, Game of Thrones, has joined the cast in an unnamed role, and it's highly likely that he'll be playing a villain. The somewhat conclusive ending of The Family Plan may not have left too many doors open for the sequel, but the open-ended concept has already proven to be a good source for more movies. Though all the details aren't known yet, it has been confirmed that The Family Plan 2 will see the Morgan family take their dream Christmas vacation to Europe. Unfortunately, Dan's shadowy past comes back to haunt him again, and some new threat endangers the family thousands of miles from home. It's unlikely that the sequel will bring back the villain of the first movie, and it will instead introduce a new baddie for Dan and his family to fight against. The setting in Europe opens the door for a ton of exciting new set pieces, and the action could take a step up in The Family Plan 2. However, one thing that is absolutely necessary is the family comedy from the Morgans, and it's expected that the sequel will have that in abundance as well.